Yeah, probably some technical issues. Okay, then, okay. Hi, everyone, again. And I would like to say personal hi to Joseph from France and Marianne from Argentina, because we have some nice job done in the past. Yes, and you hear me now, right?
Yes, we can hear you, absolutely.
Good.
Please go ahead.
So the reasons why I choose particularly this short storytelling video is the time. It's pretty short to my mind, just 3 minutes and plus 20 seconds. The second, it's pretty difficult for me to find out English subtitled short storytelling thing, this webinar. The second issue why I choose, because it's something special in the format, in the form of this storytelling. It's a kind of preaching. It's a kind of inspirational story, which has personal story as well. Like you just, Joel told the fragment of personal story. And also it's done in the form of poem. And of course, it was a performance of Adam made during the Human Rights Forum in Oslo last year. There was like 400 different human rights defenders from all over the world, and particular this storytelling was very inspirational to everyone. And probably after that, we can discuss why, or probably not, maybe you can understand, and you don't need anything. So we can come to watch this short.
Thank you, Misha. Stefan, over to you for playing.
Have a second. Just to go to, okay, it's Adam Ra.
People believe in love. Because if a person knew love was real, why would they choose to feel anything else? I try to understand it, but damn it, it hurts to see us pillage this planet endlessly, torture animals senselessly, kill people for the color skin we see, fueling bigotry while poverty leaves children homeless on the sidewalks. We ignore them so we cannot see their hungry eyes watch us eat ourselves into obesity. And yet in it all, I see the love. And it hurts. It hurts to want to help and not know how. Because if a person knew love was real, why would they choose to feel anything else? The way they behave can't be love, can it? And so we have numbed ourselves through violence, ignorance, sex, drugs, alcohol, media, and whatever we could to not feel the pain. It seems insane that we would try and choose to love ourselves through abuse, but simply turn on the news and notice the patterns. They are clues that if we don't know how to win, then we are born to lose. And so we can have empathy for those who feel empty, because when they act out, they are simply acting from love the best they know how. Everyone is choosing love the best they can with the tools they've got. It might be me that forgot. And I doubted myself. And I started to have memories come up of my own trauma. Being molested at the age of 5 by a man that my family and I trusted. And how that led to me walking through the world, walking through this planet with fear. Fear. In a constant state of fight or flight, feeling like the worst case scenario might happen at any moment. And as I sat with that, I started to think about, when did that shift? How did that shift? Because it was only recently, in the last few years. And I realized it shifted when I was able to drop into forgiveness. And so as I sat in my hotel room, I realized that as we shine this light of awareness on some of the world's darkness, now is as important a time as ever that we continue to hold love in our hearts. That we continue to shout from the rooftops the message of choosing love. We get to show people a new way, create a new paradigm. Collectively, we have turned our backs on the meek, taken advantage of the weak, and told the timid not to speak. But love can't be silenced. And so through the generations of violence, there has been a message so timeless that beats deep inside us, and with each beat reminds us that love is still here. Loud and clear, that message rings out. Love is still here. So start today.
Wow, Misha, thanks so much again for sharing this. So I think here, one of the points you want to make is that if you want to convey a value through your story, you don't necessarily need to focus on your story endlessly. Basically, he says very little basically about his story, right? And yet it is storytelling. So do you want to expand a bit on this?
Yes. Yes, just it's not necessary to tell whole your story to inspire people for something, to share to share the value, especially by means of choosing the audience. I mean, what the story does for people and to whom actually. As many people who are fighting for rights, for example, we usually stuck in our pain, and sometimes to find the source of or spring to water ourselves, our dryness, and that is clear example how we can do it with a poem, which is usually nice to hear, and not to stuck in our pain, to stay sensitive, and that is helps.
It's an interesting contribution to the big chapter, which we definitely haven't got time to unpack here, which is the format of the storytelling. And so we have so many different formats. We also have interactive storytelling, which is very important. You know, we're nearing the end of this 1 hour sequence. I just want to say that, you know, obviously 1 hour is very short and stuff, so we don't want to leave it there. We are in the process of producing a kind of an online module or course on storytelling in which we will embed all of the contributions and also make the points of, you know, our various participants really, really clear. So you will, you know, participants and people beyond this group will have a capacity to go more into the details and the technicalities of how to build a story with much more tools and elements and the hero's journey that Tamara was talking about. Here, I definitely would like to take the last 5 minutes of this amount of time we have to ask if there are some participants who want to come up, and you know that in the chat box, or you can raise your hand. There is a specific icon. So when you open the chat box, you will find this, and then you can raise your hand if you want to come in and share your own experience in storytelling or specific questions you might have. And Stefan, you can.
I'm checking about everyone, but
you're checking about this. Okay, thanks.
No one is expressing a wish. We have a message from Stephen Okwani, like that person asks Maximilian for some piece on LGBTQ rights with us. So Maximilian, if you hear us, if you're willing to share something that you are being suggested, are you willing up maybe? Like you can write in the chat box if you're willing to take a participation.
And also in that meantime, I would invite everybody who's here. We're gonna close off this meeting now, but we're gonna leave the chat box open for a while. We can do this, Stefan, right?
Yes, of course.
And then we can leave it open for a couple of hours, and then it would be really great if you could send to the group additional stories or examples of good storytelling, things that have really inspired you, or any kind of contributions you want to make. Sometimes these things come up after a while. So let's leave it open. Again, we have all your contacts, and you will be kept in the loop about when we develop our online learning module on storytelling, which we're in the process of building. So we haven't heard from Maximilian, right, here?
No, Maximilian not willing to participate, but either way, Maximilian, if you're hearing us, you can send in the chat box after our webinar any sort of content you think it is valuable for the sake of storytelling, and we will be more than glad to watch over and to share with all participants, with all attendees. We have all your emails, and we will be more than glad to reach out to you with any sort of a content.
And also to say, we had opened a call for invitation for people to join. We had a lot of very, very important and very, very interesting contributions. So we're really considering doing a second webinar on storytelling with 3 other participants, again from various regions. So again, we'll send it to all the people who registered here as a follow-up. So you also might want to join this next conversation on storytelling, because it is such an important element. We also wanted here to talk about storytelling under COVID-19. So this we're going to keep for the next one, because it is such an important, it's so important to know how we are telling the stories of how we face the pandemic, and what